Age of Tanks. Today he's packed with other stuff, so today will be me. And of course, talking about the gameplay, and we have live our game on the 1st of May. So more of the game mechanics and game details, the backstory, everything. Yeah, I will do the presentation for you guys. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for joining. So for those of you that are joining us from YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or Facebook, or on the Age of Tanks YouTube channel as well, we are really happy to have them on. They're one of our Knighthood program partners, and this is just an opportunity for us to sort of do a follow-up with them and see where they're at. And they're going to be walking us through their more recent full game launch and some of the details associated with that. So without further ado, would you like me to go ahead and share that with the viewers?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Without further ado, I will show you guys with our full game launch detail with this presentation slides. So, for those who have been following us, Age of Tanks, you know that we had our alpha in January, we had our beta in February, and then finally today, 1st of May, we have our full game launch. So, next slide. All right. All right, over here. Yeah, so some game achievement that we have achieved during our alpha and beta, we have more than 23,000 unique wallets connected, more than 100,000 game site sessions, more than 1 million total battles conducted, more than 12,000 hours tested, and more than 2,500 feedback received from our gamers. And as you all know, for our live full game launch, all right, we have the free to play element. All right, it's for players that have not buy our NFT tanks. They can still join in our game free to play. You guys will receive a free basic tank, which is a non-NFT, but you can kick off your journey in our Earth Zero metaverse. Okay, and for all new players that will sign out in our game, you'll go through 5 simple steps tutorial to assemble your first tank. And after you complete your tutorial, PvE will be open for these players, and you can receive 5 Brodium upon your first success battle. And what is Brodium? Later on, I will talk about it. Okay. And the second type of gamers that we are targeting on will be the scholarship gamers. So scholars can apply to join a guild, and through our facility, Conquest Academy, and you can read up the details in our ironclad paper, or as known as the white paper. Okay, you can rent NFT tanks with AOT tokens as deposit, and you can play the game. And reward will be split between the contract owner and the players. Okay, and the third type of the gamers, and the most important type, is the NFT gamers. These guys are people who have bought our tank NFT, and you will enjoy all the benefits of the free to play. And of course, with higher rarity tanks, you will be able to earn more daily rewards. And talking about tanks, I'm not sure how many of you have been following us, and do you know that we have 12 origin tank series? So all these tank series are made up of 4 parts, and all the tank we have named it specially according to the game. Okay, in the year 23,100, it's 20 over 20,000 years later, and all these names are uniquely named, okay, of creativity. All right, and each name actually has its reason and its function, okay, according to the tank's attributes. Okay, and different tanks, they have different rarities and colors, and it's based on the color. So for the common tank, it will be blue, and it's not shown on this chart. Okay, and following on with the rare, epic, legendary, and mystic. And all the different tanks have the different classes and the type, engine type, which I'll explain in a while. And like I say, all the tanks is made out of 4 parts. Which are the 4 parts? The hull, the hatch, the guns, and the engine. And just now I mentioned a point called the Brodium. And the Brodium, as a free-to-play, you earn the Brodium, and what is it used for? It's used to bid for the blind box. So all right, every day there will be blind boxes, okay, thrown out. And all the blind boxes contain tank parts. It may be a hatch, it may be a gun, it may be a hull, it may be an engine. All right, so every day it will be opened up, and gamers shall receive the tank parts by bidding using your Brodium, and the winners shall take the blind box. And how do you participate in the auction? Okay, you choose, you bid. All right, and there will be 3 time sessions for the auction and for all the different tanks, and there will be 10 slots for each parts, each tank parts. So you bid with your Brodium, and the winner will receive the blind box and receive the tank parts every day. So it may be a hatch. So 12 different hatches of different range of the attack range. All right, and critical damage, critical chances, sorry, and 12 different guns. And the gun determine the attack skill of your assembled tanks. And there are 12 different parts, meaning 12 different attack skills available for you to piece whatever which kind of a combination of the attack that you want to have for your tank. So personally, I like the headshot. Headshot. Okay, because our tanks, the head of the tank is called hatch. So it's for the human is headshot. So over here it's called hatch shot. All right. And also there will be 12 hull. Hull is like the body of the tank. And 12 hulls, this hulls determine the defense skills for the tank. So each different skills contributes to different strategy of your tank team. And lastly, we have the engine. The engine determines the speed of your assembled tank. And this is quite crucial for the game because the first move of the team will be granted with the tank team with the fastest tank. All right, now will be the more complicated explanation. So all our engines there are 6 different engine classes, okay, and 3 different types: the speed type, the damage type, the defense type. All right, and each type have 2 classes: the Flash, Agility, Gunslinger, Jericho, Root, and Guardian. All right, now let us look at the Jericho, Root, and the Guardian. So over here, you can see that which engine will contribute to which attributes for your tank. Example, increase of attack percentage or increase of your health percentage, or both. Right? There is also a engine weight capacity. Okay, engine weight capacity which will be in conjunction for the Flash, Agility, and Gunslinger engines. And there is an additional weight capacity which contributes to additional attributes. And for these 3 different engine types, all right, the difference in the weight capacity will be converted into the speed or the health of the tank. Now, after you got your parts from the blind box, from the auction, you can see your parts in your inventory page. So for all the players, after you log in the game, you'll see your inventory page, the amount of blind box that you open, you'll see the amount of different parts, the hatch, gun, hull, engine. And take note, okay, there's 5 different rarities as explained earlier on. So you are able to combine a lower rarity parts to give rise to a part with a higher rarity. Okay, so as seen example, okay, on the screen. Now, how to know your tank rarity? So each part actually have a rank point system. So for the common will be 1 point, rare will be 2 points, etc. To the mystic will have 5 points. So different rarities give rise to different rank points. The higher the rarity, the higher the rank point. Total of 4 different parts after assembly determines the tank rarity. So example, now you have an epic hatch, an epic gun, a rare hull, and an epic engine. So according to the rank system, it's a 3, 3, 2, and 3. Right. So after you assemble, all right, after example, the total points will be 11. 11 which will give rise to a rare tank. And a rare tank contributes to two points for the team point, which form your 7 tank teams. Now, the different tank teams rarity. So each different tank will have a team point. Similarly, according to their different rarity, will be 1 to 5. And for example, 7 common tanks, which will be given to a total of 7 team points, which means your tank team will be classified under a common team. Okay. 7 rare tanks, which is a 7 times 2, will be 14 points, which will give you to a veteran tank team, and etc. If you have 7 mystic tank, it will be 7 times 5, we will give you 35 team points, which is a mystical team. So after you assemble your first tank, okay, 6 more tanks will be needed to assemble to form a full tank team. So over here, the example as shown, or our example, tank 2 is a legendary tank, tank 3 is a rare, tank 4 is an epic, 5, 6, 7, etc. So all in all, if you combine all the 7 different tanks with their team point, you will be able to tabulate your tank team points, which in over here, the example of 18 points, which you get a veteran tank team. Now, after you have assembled your 7 tanks, now we need to understand how the gameplay works. So in our game, there's 2 types of battle mode. One is the PvE campaign and story mode, and the more important is the PvP modes and ranking mode. So let us now look at PvE. PvE, campaign and story mode, there is a PvE 1, PvE 3, PvE 7. So as the name goes, all right, if you have one team, one tank, you are only able to participate the PvE 1. If you have more than 3 tanks, you are able to participate the PvE 3. Of course, you can also, with maybe 3 tanks, you can still participate in PvE 1 using one of the tanks. And if you have at least 7 tanks, you can participate in the PvE 7. All right. And in the PvE chapters and mission, there will be total of 5 chapters with 5 missions each. And the Brodium rewards varies per chapter based on the different difficulty level. And after you have the PvE tank team assembled, okay, you select your 7 tanks. You may have more than 7 tanks. You may have 15, 20 tanks. It's all right. All right. So you choose your 7 tanks, and the 7 tanks will classify your tank team rarity. And you participate in the PvE to earn Brodium. And the Brodium earned will be used to bid for more blind box and to open up for more tank parts of different rarity. And this is the chart of the amount of Brodium you can receive based on the different chapter and the different mission. All right. Do take note that on chapter 2 onwards, after you completed the PvE 7 mission, chapter 2 mission 5, you will be awarded an AOT token 1 time. Okay. Chapter 3 mission 5 for PvE 7 and PvE 3, there will also be AOT tokens rewards once per account. All right, same goes for all the chapter 4, 5, the mission 5 for chapter 4 and 5.
So does that mean that there is kind of a pathway for the free-to-play players to, if they can beat those missions, to actually earn some AOT token?
Oh, there's no cap for the Brodium rewards, but for the AOT tokens, why are we rewarding the AOT tokens? Because actually during the assembly of the tank or the forging of the tank, you use the AOT. So we over here, if you play the mission, and even if you cannot be successful in the battle or the boss, you can actually gain your tank experience as you level up. Okay, you will be finding the completion of the mission easier. So eventually, you will still earn your AOT token as a reward for the gamers.
Got it. Cool.
All right. So after understanding the PvE, let us now look at the PvP. So there's 3 modes of PvP: the 1v1 all-out battle, 7v7 all-out battle, and the 7v7 ranked battle. Now, I do not need to state the difference of what is 1v1 and 7v7 forward. Now, what is the difference between all battle and ranked battle? So for 7v7 ranked battle, it means that if your tank team is like a legendary level, legendary rarity, so you will only be matched with another legendary tank team. So it's like kind of a fair play, but it's still based on your tank skills. So a combination of 7 tanks of different skills actually determine the winning factor, including the speed, including the example, the defense skills or the attack skills, which some of the skills are actually counteracting each other. So it's very important to study our game guide and come up with your most ideal tank team. All right. And as for all-out battle, you may be surprised. Doesn't mean the higher rarity is the most powerful tank team. All right. It happens before, like example, an epic tank team overbeats a legendary tank team or even a mystical tank team. It may happen because it's based on the different skills combination. Everything counts: the speed, the health, the skill, and of course luck. All right. So the all-out battle, if you are able to outbeat your opponent at a higher rarity, you will be receiving higher rewards for that. So you form your best PvP tank team. All right, you select your 7 tanks, and do take note. Every day we have 3 different battle time slots, from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is to concise, all right, all the gamers to be battling at the same time, so that we have a higher chance of matching your ideal opponent. So other time you can still log in the game. You can use the time to study what kind of tank pass you have, study the skills of the tank pass that you have, and formulate your best strategy. And for the weekly PvP ranking, for now, all right, we will be giving out the top 20 additional AOT token rewards. All right, and only 7v7 ranked battles are calculated.
Yeah, I have a quick question about that. So for the sort of, I guess, leaderboard, I guess you would call it, for making that top 20, how do you guys determine what the reward is for the people who are in the top 20? Do you have kind of like a breakdown of what people might be able to expect? Because, obviously, with any project, there's a major question of traction. And obviously, by saying, there's these top 20 spots, that's going to kind of incentivize people to participate, right? Let's give people an idea of, if they were to get started now and start working on building up their team, what would some of those like top 20 earnings look like?
All right. For the top 20, it will be 7v7 ranked battles. Meaning for your common tank team, there will be a top 20. For your rare tank team, you'll have top 20. For your epic tank team, there will be top 20. Legendary, mystic, each different rarity tank team will have their own top 20. So you may have, if you have more than 7 tanks, it's for you to decide which rank battles you want to slot yourself in. You may not have a battle legendary tank team, but if you break up your tank teams into the epic or the rare tank team, you may outbeat the rest of the players. You may be a better tank team in the lower rarity. So it's hard to say that the higher rarity, the stronger you are. So by giving out this top 20 ranking, okay, we want players to engage themselves, to strategize their thinking, to formulate the best different types of combination. So you will be able to see. And for example, if for this week, you can see that you got no chance to squeeze in the top 20 or even the top 10 of the legendary tank team. You can choose. You can downgrade one of your tank. Choose a lesser rarity tank, and you fight in the epic tank team range. So this is for each players. We create more combination of strategy for players to choose which battle they want to go into. So over here, you can see the rewards chart. All right, different tank team have different rewards. So over here, we also included the 1v1 victory reward. Okay, so just now we have mentioned only 7v7 you are able to earn AOT tokens. So for 1v1, if you win more palladium, which is not necessarily useless because you can use palladium to open up more blind box and get more parts, and maybe, who knows, form an even better team. Right? And for all out battle for the 7v7, you'll get the 15 AOT tokens if you win. And for the ranked battle, the different category or different rarity, you'll get different rewards as stated. And even if you lose in the 7v7, we will award you rhodium. All right. And on the right side, you can see the top 20 ranking based on different rarity class. Okay. And besides the PV, PvP, all right, coming soon, we will also have other functions which we opened it up during our beta. We let our gamers try it, and we can gather many feedbacks. All right, and we are upgrading the functions. So for Conquest Academy is specifically for the scholars in play. So coming soon, when more scholars come in, okay, you can use this function and rank tank, rent the tank, and play PvP. All right, and of course you need to apply and join the guild itself. So right now we have actually listed 3 different guilds, all right, which we have engaged, we have very closely partnered with us for our full game launch. And soon, okay, we will also opening up more functions, all right, for people. If you buy our land NFT in future, you are able to buy this guild facility, all right, and then you can open up as a guild in our game and gather players, gather scholars, and play the game. And lastly, all right, talking about AOT use case, there are many people are very concerned about it. So during our beta launch, we have tank NFT tank staking to earn AOT tokens, all right, and of course the other use case like forging of the parts, minting of the NFT tank, and you use your AOT in our marketplace, minting on NFT robots. This we have not launched yet, but it's in our white paper that in future we will have like a companion system. It's called robots, right, for your tank team, right? Own land and governance token. So all these are the different utility of our AOT tokens, all right? And you can just look at the chart and understand more about our game. And of course, not just on the game, on our website, on our white paper, in our link tree, do feel free to visit our website or our official socials to find out more about the game. And if you are interested to play in our game, okay, go to our game guide and study how each and different tank, and like just now I mentioned the different skills of the tanks. How do they have a combination, plan out your strategy, and outbeat your opponent.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll just sort of add really quickly, this is, ever since first meeting the Age of Tanks team, when we are discussing kind of the different projects that we want to have in our knighthood program, this is exactly the kind of thing that we love to be introducing to our player base and bringing onto our CryptoBlades platform. The level of detail and the thoroughness with your game design, as well as the different features that you guys are offering and continuing to build. Right, this is a real long-term project, and bear market, bull market, whatever ends up like they're moving with it, and this is really great stuff to see. And I want to let the viewers know as well, if you guys have any specific questions for the Age of Tanks team, place them in the chats wherever you are, whether that's YouTube or Twitch, and we will check those out, and we can get them to answer a few questions prior to closing up for today. But a couple of questions from my end. You sort of mentioned, hey, this is what's coming with your the Age of Tanks metaverse and everything like that. What's driving sort of what your final vision of Age of Tanks is going to be? What's your final sort of vision, if you could maybe lay that out for us?
All right. The whole creation of Age of Tanks is actually because that we all know, like since last year, that GameFi is the next thing. GameFi is a pay to earn, pay and earn, pay to own concept, right? So we started off with as a gamer, as a game studio, we want to create a game that is lasting. We want to create a game that has its uniqueness in the market. So we believe that we are the first self-assembly NFT game type in the market right now that is already live. There are many. There are also a few games that they can have different parts or whatever. But so far, what we see that as ourselves, we know that it's not easy for the in the development aspect. Yeah. So moving on, we also have our metaverse in place, and even there are people asking about will there be a mobile version of the game? Yes, we do have a plan in that. All right, but right now we want to finalize our desktop version, our web version. Uh, so after we finalize our web version, there are still feedbacks coming in. There are still minor bugs that we are patching on, and we will then shift our focus into developing in the mobile version. And we hope that as an Age of 10 game, not only as a strategy play, you guys can mix and match to form a strategic gameplay in it. You can also enjoy the game itself. Right, all our
Right.
backstory, our game story is all original, even including our tanks. Okay, we are not like some sorry to say, but Unity asset put into a game file. All our
Right.
tanks are original. And why do we spend so much effort in doing all this? Is because we ourselves we are hardcore gamers and game developer. So we wish that we can develop a good game to every one of you.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. So from what I gathered, sort of the main vision is let's make a game that's fun, standalone on its own, aside from sort of the crypto aspect. But then additionally, you can have that ability to earn. And additionally, you can have these components that can all contribute to a single NFT. And then obviously that can be traded to people when people obviously are entering into the game or exiting the game. They can have that freedom to, of their assets. That's really cool. I have someone asking, they really want to know why no airplanes? Are there airplanes in the roadmap?
All right. Initially, actually, we have all of us have dreams, right? So, why tanks? Why tanks? Let me answer. This is actually two questions: why tanks and why not airplanes? All right. So the first question, why tanks, is because if you read our backstory of our Age of Tanks, okay, we are talking about in the year 23,100. Is the flight is no ozone layer, the sky is full of dust. There's no way for flight, right? The seas has dried up. There's no way for ships. So the only way is tanks as the ultimate land machine. All right. So this is to answer your first question. And why not airplanes? We have actually thought about having an age of flights, age of sea, ocean. We have thought of that. But we choose to focus in age of tanks first, right? If we never know in future, we may have a second metaverse age of plane. I think battle with age of tanks. We never know. That is for the future.
Yeah, no, I love that there is an actual answer in the the story of Age of Tanks that planes are just not feasible, right? With the ozone layer and everything. No, that's awesome. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? One question that I had about the you mentioned there's PvP and then there's tournaments. Now, tournaments is that the name that you have for kind of like the leaderboards, or is there a difference between the player versus player in the tournaments, or kind of what's your idea as far as incorporating esports? Like, what's your end vision for that?
All right. For now, we actually we have the weekly ranking. Okay, and as we just live, we know that our game is slightly complicated. It's not a simple turn-based game. You need to form your best team, like I mentioned before. So for right now, it's only top 20 that we are giving out rewards. But we have in place for our tournament. And our tournament match is like a MMR. We have and what we want to create. Why do we have the Comcast Academy to accommodate the guilds to come on board? Is that we want to have guild battles, a guild royal rumble. So different guild will be challenging each other with their best scholars and fighting out in the tournament. Yeah. So we have that in place, but right now we are not opening up yet because we just live like less than 20 days. So moving forward, we are also working closely with a few guilds, and especially one of the esports background of 4 to 5 years background guild that's coming on board into the GameFi scene. And we are working very closely with them, and they are hoping to bring their esports athletes into the GameFi scene as professional scholars, and or trainers for scholars. So these are our planning moving forward, and of course working with many guilds, and the guilds can battle out in our tank battles in the tournament that we will be launching once all these guilds and scholars are in place.
Awesome, awesome. And so let's do one more question here from the community. What part of the game is interacting with the blockchain? And then obviously, maybe as part of that answer, maybe you can kind of elaborate on what part isn't on the blockchain, is just to sort of give a full view there.
Yeah, actually talking about which part of the game is interacting with blockchain, our tanks are NFTs. All right, tank parts are not NFT yet. So only when you assemble your 4 different parts, and you can choose. If you do not like the assembled tank, you click cancel, and it goes back to the different parts. But if you like the final tank, you straight away you can mint it into the NFT tanks. And as an NFT tank, you can play in game, or you can extract it to your personal wallet and showcase as a PFP, just like many of the NFT out there. Yeah, that is the first part, and that's interacting with the blockchain. And secondly, our AOT token is already listed on Pancake since 1st of December last year. Yeah, so we are a single token model for our GameFi, which is quite rare in the market. And why do we choose that? Because we want to create more buying demand for the token instead of just selling pressure. Many GameFi dies because of the selling pressure of the game token is too high. There's not much utility, or the scholars have to put bread on their table. So there's no choice given to them. They will sell. They will sell. They
Mm-hmm.
will cash it, and they have to continue. So for our game, okay, why we design it as a single game model, single token model, is because we want to create more utility for our AOT tokens, and not just on the minting, on the forging, and when soon when our metaverse is ready, we'll have a land facility. The different facility have different functions. Even we have the example, the repair factory. Your tanks will have a durability that once, example, after 100 battles, you need to repair your tank, which you need to use AOT token for the repair fee. And who earns the AOT token? It's not us. It's not the game developer. It will be the NFT owner, the factory NFT owner, which is on the land. So to have the NFT, example, the repair factory, you need to have the land. So all these are all NFT, which is interacting with the blockchain.
Awesome. And I love the elaboration on the single token model. Obviously, with the skill token and CryptoBlades, we have operated in the same way. And to be frank, it's the unspoken truth of the dual token model is, here's our token that we want investors to buy, and we want them to sort of profit on all the user activity and all of the guilds joining in, and then they kind of take the crumbs and they'll set one reward pool, essentially is what it is, of hey, let's put $1 million into this token, and if it looks so bright and shiny and all the players are like, great, look at how they care so much about us, and then it's just sell
Yeah.
permanently. And who's going to buy some token that's only purpose is to be sold, right? Nobody buys that token, and once that runs out, what are you going to do, right? And meanwhile, all the investors are happy, I guess, because they have their token. But why not give the players the ownership
Exactly.
of the project, of the protocol,
Exactly.
of the that's really what it's doing here. And so I love that approach. Obviously, we take the same approach from a
Yes.
from a tech perspective, but also even from just more of a general philosophical perspective, that players should be able to kind of become shareholders of the project by owning the actual investor token. So that's really great. So that's everything that we have for today with Age of Tanks. Is there anything else you want to leave us with before we close off the stream for today?
Well, I'm very happy to have this session, and I hope to have more. And thank you, Crop, for all the hosting and everything. And thank you for the community for all the questions. They are excellent questions. And for some of the questions that we may not have answered or addressed to, feel free to join our socials. You can ask us, ask our mods, and we will guide you along the way to understand more of our game.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much, Age of Tanks team, for going over all of this with us and for continuing to build. You know, we put our trust in you guys by sort of bringing you into the Knighthood program. And that was a really great decision because, you know, what you guys have been able to build over the past 6 months in this bear market, especially, is really incredible. And we wish you guys the best of luck. And I'm certain that we will have another talk soon. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. We're going to close it off here,
Awesome.
and we will all talk soon. Bye.
All right. Thank you.